3-2 series. The Yacht Boys have taken a close series as well against Kenitra Tigers in a 3-2 series. And I believe the last series of round 1 is up next, which is No Ladder Players versus another one. Fopsy. Fopsy? Is that how you say that? Fopsy?
I think so.
So it looks like a Windwalker DK or maybe even a Feral Druid DK Holy Paladin compositions coming out from No Ladder Players. And they're going up against another one, which is also looks like a Windwalker DK Holy Paladin composition. So are we anticipating a mirror?
I think we are, yeah. There is a lot on the line. There's a lot of bashing between these two teams. There's a lot of rivalry. These are the two dominant Windwalker DKs, both playing at above 2.9k on the European ladders. I don't think there's really a third one close to them. So these guys have a ton of rivalry between each other. I'm sure you've seen on forums some of these names. Sometimes slightly more controversial, I would have to say, some of the things they type, especially to each other. But and now we're gonna be able to put those words to the test with the actual. Hopefully, we're gonna see a mirror here. I'm really looking forward to that. It should be incredibly fast-paced games as well.
Wait, Cavi is. Is Cavi the Feral Druid?
He plays Feral and Holy Paladin.
Yeah, I thought that he was the Holy Paladin. So who is what?
Linio is also a Holy Paladin.
Okay, I thought
they
they'd be
have two
red
Holy
or something.
Paladins on that team.
Okay.
All right. Well,
Can't
here
say
we
anything. I have two
go.
Resto Druids on my team.
Here we go, guys. Game number 1 of this best of 5 series. Who is the better Windwalker DK, or are they even going to be playing Windwalker DK? We're going to find out in a hot minute. The first map, of course, is the Grand Arena. Alright, welcome everyone to the Grand Arena, and we have ourselves a mirror between No Ladder Players and another one, and this is hyped. Can they put their words to the test here in game number 1?
It's very important that both the Paladins are actually playing Dwarf. The race is very important. They'll be able to stone form out of the silences from the Death Knights. So I like that adaptation. We can see both teams. Actually, Max Midget getting gripped into the center of the map there for a second, and looks like he is going to be the target, as they both Holy Paladins, I think, are going to get trained down. Lanu, though, is the one that's getting bursted first, almost going down without bubbling. I think Jingo might have stolen the bubble.
Oh, yeah. Instant uses the bubble there. That's very well played, and they're so far ahead of the race. It looks like the other team's not even going for the Holy Paladin. They're just training down FedEx. So this is different strategies coming out from these two teams. I'm really curious because I really expected the Holy Paladin train roll for both teams, and the offensive karma comes up now. He has no answer to that, of course, because he just used his bubble. Linui in a lot of trouble, but it looks like he's stabilizing right now. He hasn't even had to use his wings yet, so that's well played by him, but he's caught in the full hodge. He's actually holding his trinkets still. It looks like he's going to use the wings execution sentence off this. Yep, there it is. It looks like he's going to be okay. FedEx actually has no karma now, having used that one quite offensively, so wings out from both Paladins right now, and it's really a question of which strategy is going to win this game. Who wins the race?
Yeah, I'm interested to see. I mean, Bubble being down on Lanu is pretty detrimental. We can see a full fist of justice over onto Max. It looks like No Ladder Players are just committing to the DPS. Lanu going to be bopping himself out of that leg sweep from FedEx right away, and Jingo actually just going through that Blessing of Protection like it's nothing with his Frost Strikes. Now chaining it into the Strangulate, and Lanu's actually just going to Aura Mastery that off. We see a Strangulate over onto Max. He's going to Stone Form that to break out of the silence and try and top his team off. And No Ladder Players have a lot of spread pressure right now, but will that spread pressure result in a kill? Because another one have been dedicating all of their resources onto Lanu, the Holy Paladin, and they're just burning through his cooldowns. He gets locked on his heal. He could easily go down here, down at 29. Soul Reaper's going to proc into the DR stun. Will they finish him off 3%? And they finish him off.
Wow. Jingo stole the Hodge at the end there, and that's what killed him. He stole the Hodge, so he actually got Hodge DR into a triple DR Hodge from Jingo, but it looks like they're still going for the cross kill, but Cervantes is low, and they won't manage to land it, and I'm really curious about the strategy from No Ladder Players. Maybe they don't feel confident in the Holy Paladin Train War, but every time I've seen this matchup played, it's been all about that, and maybe they just tried to throw them a little bit off another one, since I'm sure they don't meet each other too much in these mirrors, so maybe they tried to catch them off guard a little bit with this strategy, but
I'm taking a quick look at that replay. Seeing that stun into the DR stun, the stolen stun. Crazy plays coming out from another one. But there you have it. They're going to take game number 1 of this best of 5 series against no ladder players, and that's got to be feeling good. They got to be feeling strong because that was a pretty convincing showing in game number 1 for sure for another one. But we're going to be going into another one very soon.
Nice.
I think like no ladder players just didn't have like a confident idea of what they wanted to do for like the first 30 seconds of the game, because they were gripping the Holy Paladin, looking like they were kind of wanting to swap, but then they let him get away, and then they were hitting FedEx a little bit, and then they were like, they didn't really have a game plan with what they wanted to do. I mean, maybe it is winnable hitting DPS, but they have to commit their damage, set up some CC, like a paralyze maybe on the Holy Paladin, look for a CC chain if they're going to do it that way, because it seemed like they were kind of just all over the place, whereas the opposing team, FedEx's team, was just like Holy Paladin, start to finish, SMR, nothing else matters, don't care, going face, going face, nothing else, you, now, train you, and that was their game plan, and because they had a plan, it just worked out better for them.
Yeah, I feel like they did have the better plan. It'll be interesting to see whether the other team adapts and starts training the Holy Paladin as well, because maybe it was just that opener as well. Another one took a long time to kill Linui under this strategy, so maybe it would work, but they just had such a nice opener. They instantly forced the shield proc in the bubble, so maybe if they could have prevented that, if they could have got the CC onto the DPS faster, they could have stopped that, but this is such a nice way for these two teams to start out the tournament. I feel like there's nothing better for the winners, at least, to have a mirror matchup. So if you win this, you're going to feel so good going into the next series. And I feel like we haven't seen the potential of no ladder players yet. I would like to see them train a Holy Paladin and really see who does win the race. Maybe both teams just leave their healer behind. That's the kind of match I envisioned.
That's what I was
saw
anticipating, yeah.
That's how it used to play. Last season when I saw teams like this mirror, it seemed like the Holy Paladin race was the only option. We can see Fopsy leading in, both Death Knights and Windwalker Monks just going to be hitting each other. There's the grip over onto Max into the leg sweep, and FedEx is going to portal away from the Fists of Fury, and I think he was trying to paralyze him on it, but he didn't manage to get it. Now he sets it up with the leg sweep, but Fopsy's going to nimble brew out. A lot of pressure right now onto Max, the Holy Paladin. He's forced to pop himself out of the Fists of Justice, but he might just die through it, barely squeaking a heal. Now pressure over onto Lanu is forced to bubble. Jingo not going to be stealing that bubble this time. However, Lanu actually maybe ahead, maybe behind. It's hard to say really as he passes Max. Lanu still has his, so he's got a big burst of healing available if he needs it, whereas Max won't have that big burst of healing.
Yeah, I think like Leonardo is probably slightly ahead here. He's going to have that wings up for a lot longer. They're going to force the bubble really soon onto Max. He trinkets, but he's not going to have any healing from that wings. It's just about to expire right now, so they should force the bubble really, really soon. No shield proc, of course, available either. This should be the bubble. Linui is still looking healthy. 15 seconds left on his wings. He just pops that shield wall, and he does have the bop available should he require it, but he's probably going to try hold it until after his wings. They do force the second bop on Max Midget. That's really greedy from him. Oh, no, actually, it was the bubble. My bad. It was the bubble. And Max Midget now has nothing available. But Linui, he has to pop the calm off, and he might die. He's going to 1%, and he goes down.
But Max actually got locked out, and he could still be in a little bit of trouble. Into the Fist of Fury, saved by the light prop.
Pops is just soloing him.
Oh my gosh.
Looks like he's going to stabilize there. And another one takes another game. And that was the Paladin mirror, and the Paladins had two different approaches to dealing with being trained, and it looked like it worked out better for another one.
That was weird, because it looked like Linaway was rotating through his defensive cooldowns better. I felt like looking at, like, I mean, he used his bubble later, he used his wings later.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought he was going to be fine, but yeah, it was that difference between using bop or bubble at the start, because he just died through his bop. He used his bop a little bit too late. Perhaps he used it on the combo on about 60%, but I don't think they even purged it. He just died. Like, there was insane damage coming out, surely from the DK from Jingo. Just took it. He didn't even want to purge the bop. He just wanted to do damage and kill him. He knew he had the potential to do so. So
I wonder if, like, this is where mind games happen, right? Because now one team is probably like, well, their Paladin lived doing that. You should just do that. Just copy him. Because he lived. Copy him. And then the other Holy Paladin might be like, hey, bubbling actually might have been better.
Mm.
And
Oh,
both the
man.
team end up doing the opposite strategy because they're like thinking about it a little bit too much. They're like, I'm curious to see how they do it this time.
I don't
I
know.
think Bob was incredibly risky there. You remember at the time it happened, he was like
Oh, yeah.
20% and he
It
bopped
was.
himself, and we were all like, oh my god, is he just going to die here? But then they're playing this 3-minute wings, which is an intelligent choice because they know the game's not going to go on long. So once that wings execution does land, it's a good 60% heal instantly, which is normally enough for them to stabilize for a little while at least. But one thing I've noticed is I've rarely seen the Windwalker icons on the spectator UI, and now we have two.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we don't really see them all that much unless they're playing this composition. And both of these teams actually got seeded into one another, so we get to see them both in the first round here. We're gonna be jumping into the next map, which potentially could be the last, as another one is just one win away from taking the series by storm. And it is Dalaran Sewers here. A very small map, not that it really matters. I mean, the mobility of the Windwalker Monk and all that, and how fast these games are. These maps aren't really detrimental. I mean, but the playstyle has been different for each team. But we saw an adaptation from one of the teams to you know, start training the Paladin as well. But another one, they're coming out ahead regardless. And I want to see if there's another adaptation to their play going into game number 3.
So I see like Lanu saw it as like, I can trade bubble without wingsing. Whereas Max is like, I have to bop and wings. And they have to be like, okay, what's actually better?
Right.
I think bop and wings is actually better if you get away with it. But you can die. So you're risking it.
I remember when I used to play this matchup, I would go for this linear opener, and this was the standard that you would just bubble before your shield, prop before your wings, and then use your wings to
Right.
survive till bop. But Max Measure, it seems like he's probably played this matchup for a fair amount, and he's adapted. He's come up with something new, and it seems to be working better for him. So he's just sitting up there on the sewer. He's trying to avoid taking too much damage, and they're getting the open onto Linear before they even connect to Max Ninja. Are they going back to the DPS training strategy? It looks like they are. FedEx dropping quite low. The Aura Mastery comes out, but the in-cap before he can sacrifice into the Hodge. They might force the Trinket instantly, or the Karma from FedEx. But the bubbles forced out on Linui, who actually had his shield proc as well, so that's quite unfortunate for him. And they're going back to this old training the DPS strategy, but it doesn't look too good for them right now, as Cervantes is dropping low, and Max Major has popped his wings though, so Linui still has that available.
Yeah, we see the karma over onto Lanu as he is unable to remove it in that full fist of justice. Lanu could easily go down as the Soul Reaper could trigger. Lanu is going to trinket Avenging Wrath out of that Soul Reaper execute range, top himself off, but he's so far behind now at this point. We see a lot of pressure on Jingo. He doesn't actually have very many personal defensive cooldowns left. Max is going to have to trade something out to try and save him. And suddenly, no ladder players maybe turning this around. Jingo's dipping dangerously low, down at 8% HP, and
Oh
death
my
rate. He's actually going to go down. And no ladder players, with a different strategy, are going to make it work in game number 3 and get a win off another one. I'm happy to say this didn't go 3-0. And that's why I like that. Like, the teams try and come up with something different. Like, okay, this strat doesn't work for us in the mirror, so let's try what we originally had. Maybe we didn't execute it properly. Try it again, and then have it work for them. So I kind of like that.
Dude, chat was just spamming GG when the defensive cooldowns were forced and everything. Everyone was 100% convinced that this was going to be another one's game, their last game. But no ladder players. They're going to be fighting tooth and nail to keep in this series. It's now 1-2. Can the ladder players bring it back? 3-2.
I don't think another one could have been expecting that. I mean, they didn't hit the DK once yet this series, and I guess Jingo used his IBF, his trinkets, everything just to keep up with Linue and get him so low. It looked like they just had the game, but then so much damage coming out. These mirrors are so quick paced that you have to be so ready, because these teams can one-shot each other so quickly. Even DKs that are quite tanky, they can just one-shot them through that blood presence, and the bubble coming out just too late from another one. So we've got a series on our hands here, and we just can't predict anything right now.
Twitch chat curse.
Twitch chat curse.
Cheering for you.
Twitch chat, you decide who wins this series.
Yeah.
But it's reverse psychology. If you cheer for them, that means they lose.
Yes.
So make sure you think about that. Reverse psychology.
But if you are like aware of that reverse psychology, does that counteract it?
Oh, if you're aware of you indirectly screwing someone over,
Right.
does it no longer screw them
It's
over?
almost like
You screw
it's almost
yourself
like a
over.
failsafe.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need
Illuminati confirmed.
Illuminati.
What's the meaning
confirmed.
of life?
What is the meaning of life? All right, real quick before we jump into this next game, we're getting the teams ready. They're taking a little bit. No. Okay, the cues popped. Shout out to Vasai23 for that subscription, as well as 99 for that subscription, and Shades M for the 12-month, the 1-year resub. Thank you so much for that long-term support, as well as you, Juther83, for that 10-month resub. I love you guys. Thank you so much for all the love and support. But here we go. Tiger's Peak is ready. Same compositions coming out from both of these teams, but no ladder players, on the back foot. They can't lose another game against another one if they want to continue on in the upper bracket.
Yeah, unfortunately for me, I don't have a frame for Max the Holy Paladin. It seems like that could be important, so I'll do my best to follow him. But if he randomly dies and I don't say anything, it's just...
I'll
We'll
interrupt you.
just start screaming, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And look how raring together they are. Just look at another one's team. They're all just running at the gate as if it's not there. Like they're targeting Linwood.
They're
They've got
SM
him on
work
target.
already. The door isn't even open. They're already like, all right, target acquired. We know where we're going.
Yeah, they're all just running at the gate. This is lovely to watch. Linear is going to start stacking his shield instantly. He's going to try to sit behind the pillar, I'm sure, to LOS that grip. He doesn't want to get caught too early. They want to buy as much time as possible. They actually commit the double stun to the DPS here, so maybe they're going to copy the strategy. A nice grip into Max Midget, but they don't get any CC off that. They actually get the fist now, and FedEx is dropping low, down to 30% already. Are they actually swapping onto Max Midget? Both players are connecting onto him. Lino is also in trouble, though. He's down to 30%. Are they going to force the bubble? The shield proc comes out down to 30%. Both teams are dying, but you see a lot more split pressure onto another one. And the Wings comes out, but he gets hot on instantly. He has to bubble, and Wings, and Lino has to bubble as well. This is such cutthroat game. There's such an unfortunate overlap for Max Midget, who has now got his Wings up for 20 more seconds, but after that, he's going to be struggling so hard. He might just go down to 20%. The execution sentence comes out. He's up to 60% now, and Linway is still holding on to that Wings. He's going to have a big advantage if he can just survive here, and it does look like he's going to stabilize with that Wings execution sentence, whilst Wings for Max Midget is down in 3 seconds. He has no big healing coming up, and the whole team is stable right now, but Max Midget is down to 70%. He does trinket instantly out of that stun, but the Fist of Fury will be available. He does pop the Aura Mastery, but he might just go down through it. He gets fists on it, and the Bob comes up. He does get pudged instantly, though. Max Midget in so much trouble. The Wings on Linway is running out, though, so maybe it's their turn to go offensive, but he has no Aura Mastery for the Strangler. Surely he's going to go down. The Execute takes him down. He goes, and Linway will survive with that Bop and Aura Mastery, and that was a really unfortunate overlap for Max Midget.
Will he survive? I don't think they're not giving up. They actually locked Linu on his heel. Soul Reaper is up. He's on forbearance. Linu may be in trouble. There's a lot of pressure on Jingo. He should be going down. The instant double kill. What? I just saw a global cooldown from Fopsy that said Blizzard. Do you see that? It says Blizzard. Did you leave the game?
No, I didn't leave the game, but I missed it. I couldn't. The UI
Maybe
went away.
His global cooldown had a little tiny box where his next global cooldown said Blizzard.
Like Blizzard the company or Blizzard?
Yeah, like their company icon. Like when both of the people died, it said Blizzard.
We're just gonna see
I'm not
that.
joking you. Look at the VOD, please, unless my UI is broken.
It might be broken, dude. But
Yeah,
dude, no
I
ladder
didn't see
players
that.
have done it. They have tied up the series 2-2 against another one, and we'll be going into match point. We went from a 2-0 to a 2-2. This has been a crazy series so far. Both these players putting their money where their mouths are and bringing us a series. The next game will determine the victor of this best of 5. Whew. Oh my gosh. I wasn't anticipating this at all. I saw the 2-0 and I just thought, I'm like, oh, okay. There you go, another one. There you go. But no, man, no ladder players. They are not out of it just yet. No, sir.
Just occurred to me that I think no ladder player's team name might actually be slightly trash talking this other team that they're fighting right now, because they've certainly accused this team of camping the ladder in the past, but both teams are showing, like, regardless of whether they're ladder players, they're very good tournament players, which is definitely working out for them. And of course, we do have this rule in place that in order for teams to be seeded highly, they have to have 10 active games in the last week on their characters. So that's how the seeding's based. It's based on the character where you have 10 games in the last week. So we really try to encourage queuing up on the ladder, getting as much activity for the game, which is obviously good for our teams as well, because it means the best possible practice comes when they do meet each other. But it just highlights again, there's so much drama between these teams, and you can see why they're so closely matched against each other. Now 2-2 in the series. Are we going to see the comeback train from no ladder players though? It looks like they're on track right now.
They are
they don't get
indeed
derailed.
on track. Ooh, and the last map of this best of 5 series is going to be the one, the only. It's Ruins of Lordaeron. I'll see you guys in a hot minute. All right, here we go. It's the last game of this series. Which is the better Windwalker DK? We're going to find out right here, right now, between no ladder players and another one. And Ruins of Lordaeron is as cutthroat as it gets. There is no place to hide on a map like this.
I'm predicting this game because Fopsy has the best transmog out of everyone in this arena. It's like on par with Venruki's transmog level.
Oh, dude, it totally is. Venruki would be
Fopsy's
proud.
gonna win.
No Melman, though. But here we go.
Predicting 30% dampening in this game.
30, yeah.
So we do see the double stun come out onto no ladder players. They both use breaks instantly, the IBF and the Nimble coming out. And they're swapping onto FedEx. They took so much damage, he drops to 20% instantly. The shield procs, a nice hodge onto Max Midget. Can they follow it up? Should have an in-cap off that, but they don't follow it up at all. The wings comes out from Max Midget, and we see this trade of cooldowns again. The same strategies coming from both powers. We do see the bubble from Linui without the wings being used. So we've seen this situation before. It's so risky for Linui, though. He has no bubble available. He gets hodged instantly off that. Are they going to get a lot of damage onto him here? They need to try force this trinket. They're going to force the wings for sure. The execution sentence, and I think he stole the execution sentence. That could be huge from Jingo. He's up to 80%, but there's no wings available on Max Midget right now. He does trinket out of that hodge into the in-cap. FedEx in a bit of trouble here. He still has that karma available, but it looks like they choose to bubble instead. The bubble sacrifice, it should be enough to hold him, and Max Midget actually has no cooldowns left. Maybe they could swap it back over onto him, and it looks like that's actually perhaps what they want to do. Both teams just training the palace relentlessly now. Max Midget has nothing. They need to try to get this kill on him. He's down to 70%. The shield proc is his only cooldown. He gets full strangulated. The Aura Mastery's out of it. He gets fisted on the Aura Mastery. The execute's going to tick. He's down to 20%. Surely he's going to get on the DR Hodge. 10% and down he goes. But Linui is not out of the woods yet. He's down to 40%. The Aura Mastery heal's coming up. He's spamming himself. He knows they've won the series. If he can just survive the execution, he instantly dispels it. Down to 30%. They can still get the cross kill here. The shield procs. He's on 20%, but Jingo goes down. And they've done it. They've completed the comeback, and Linui's strategy of holding the wings has done it, and of course it's all down to Fopsy's transmog.
It's all down to
Fopsy's transmog. Carried the series.
I cannot believe that. No ladder players has got to have the biggest grin on their faces right now. Taking this series by storm, coming back 3 games in a row to take out another one, their rivals here in round 1 of the GCD Pro League. Tournament number 1, and we're going to be jumping into that lower bracket now, and some teams are now going to be eliminated from the tournament. That's right. We've gone through that upper bracket and we're jumping into the lower now. The teams that have already lost in the round 1 now have their tournament lives on the line, and they're going to be fighting to stay in it to win it. Let's take a quick look at that bracket. In a hot minute, it's loading. There it is. No ladder players will move on to face the Yacht Boys in round 2, but we're going to be going into that lower bracket next. And I believe that means